Greetings fanboys, this is Brandon coming at you today with a solo video, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the haul that I made at the 2013 Lexington Comic Book Convention and Toy Show held at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. Now I picked up a tremendous amount of stuff. I spent a few $100s, not as much as I had saved, so that's pretty good when you can show a little bit of restraint, but I got tons of Star Wars figures and a lot of DC figures. I got a bunch of Transformers. I got several of the new Creo blind bag mini changers. I'm really excited about those. I'm going to try and do a video where I look at a few of those. I think it's a great mini line. But I picked out 5 items that I think I'm the most happy with, things that I got the most excited about finding there. So let's check out number 1. This is the 1982 G.I. Joe Mobat. This is the original and still the best G.I. Joe tank. I've never had one myself. My uncle still had one when I was a kid, so I used to play with it when I was at my grandmother's house. So I've got a long history with this vehicle, but I just never did. I never did round one up. And this is the year of G.I. Joe right now. The second film is coming out. We're very excited about it. We hope you've watched our discussion video. There's a link to it right here. But yeah, the Mobat. I got this for pretty good price. It was $10. It's looking pretty good right now, but when I bought it, it was absolutely filthy. I don't know how it got so dirty. The stickers are in surprisingly good shape considering that, but I assume somebody had it playing with it outside, but it's fine. The only issue is that the battery hatch is missing, but honestly I could care less about that. The mechanism seems like it would work just fine, but I haven't had a chance to pick up any batteries and try it out, so maybe I'll do that. It just needs a little bit more cleaning. If I can find a Steeler figure, an 82 or an 83 Steeler to go with it, that'd be great, but for right now, my 25th anniversary figure will do just fine. Here's number 2. This is the Japanese exclusive Beast Wars 2 Galvatron. This was the main villain for the series. These were Beast Wars figures that were never released in the United States. His nemesis was Leo Convoy. We've never gotten Leo Convoy in the U.S. either, but a couple of years ago there was a repaint of Leo Breaker, the Cybertron character, with an original Optimus Prime style head that was intended to be an American version of the character. But neither one of these molds have been released in the U.S. This is actually the Korean version. There was a warehouse find of a lot of these a couple of years ago, and so many of the online retailers have been selling them. I got this from CapturedPrey.com. They had a booth there. This was $35. I've wanted one of these since I was a kid, since I saw it in a magazine article, and just really thrilled. I'm going to try and do a video, an unboxing of this. I haven't even taken them out of the box yet, so really stoked about this one. Number 3, since I got a Transformer, I have to have a GoBot, and this is Thruster 1. This is the base for the Renegades, the evil GoBots, and this is, if you don't know anything about GoBots, they were distributed by Tonka in the United States. But one of the highlights of that line were these 2 large transforming battle stations. There was this one for the villains, and there was one for the heroes as well. And the transformation is very simple. To transform it into the command center, you basically flip down the panel. Now these struts on the side will come down, and if you want to set it up on a table, but it's actually a really nice little area inside. There's an elevator, there's a chair up top there. There's a speaker inside. Again, like the Mobat, I've not tried it out. I haven't put any batteries inside yet, but I'm thinking it could work. The switch looks like it's in good shape. There's not any corrosion or anything inside, so I'll give it a try definitely. And then if you want to turn it into a robot, you flip the head back here. You extend the legs down. This is tricky. I thought this was broken, but it just takes a little bit of oomph. I feel like it's going to shatter every time I do that, but it's been fine so far. It's lasted this long. It was obviously built tough, built Tonka tough. There you go. There are the legs, and here are the very simple arms, and ta-da! Isn't that just the greatest robot you've ever seen? Not much of a match for a Trypticon or Metroplex or any of those guys, but he is a charm on his own right, and I really like him. I picked this guy up for $15, and that was a pretty good price. He's missing one part, although I've taken off the other. The legs have wings that would clip onto the back to turn him into the jet mode. I have one. I took it off. I'm hoping I can make a cast off of it and just have an extra one to replace it with, because it's not very difficult to put one back in. And that should do the trick, but if not, honestly, I'm just not that worried about it. I'm going to display him in robot mode, so he doesn't necessarily need the wings, and I'm not really going to miss him personally. Number 4 is a non-toy item. For those of you who are familiar with the Tim Burton film Mars Attacks, you may know that it's based on a trading card series from decades ago that were gruesome. They were very controversial at the time. But in the 1980s, there was a second series, kind of a spiritual successor, called Dinosaurs Attack. And I've been fascinated with these cards since I discovered a website about them several years ago. And I've never really been able to round any up, but I got this whole sealed case for $10. And I've already opened up a couple of packs, and I love dinosaurs to begin with. I always have since I was a kid, and there's a charm to these that's unbeatable. Just show you a couple of these here. Soviets versus Dimetrodon. Here is Nuptial Nightmare. Like I said, just absolutely gruesome stuff. I hope the lighting is okay in here. These look like they're not picking up too well, but if you'd like to get a closer look at these, there's a great website. Just Google Dinosaurs Attack homepage, I think is what it's called, and you'll be able to find it. Now, of course, the thing about vintage trading cards is that they also come with vintage gum. And I've chewed some of this in the past, and I'm not willing to do it again for anybody's entertainment. So if you're curious, drop me a line and I will send you a stick of this gum in the mail if you really want to try some. Last, and certainly not least, this is an item that I've been very, very curious about for a long time. I first saw this toy on, the site was originally called Toys R Gus, but it's now the Star Wars Collectors Archive, and it's still operational. It may be the oldest Star Wars toy collecting website on the net, so I still go there every once in a while to check out some things. It's got a great archive of information on vintage vehicles and playsets, and this is one that Hasbro has not seen fit to reissue. Is it a vehicle? Is it a playset? Well, you know how all of Hasbro's modern Star Wars vehicles have to double as playsets. Well, I don't know why they don't just reissue this baby, because it's obviously screen perfect. In case you're wondering what this thing is, which is not a stretch of the imagination, this is Darth Vader's Star Destroyer. This is from the Empire Strikes Back line, started in 1980. They were doing a lot of things back then, Kenner was at the time, that were a little interesting. You know, they were doing, a lot of their playsets were just platforms to sell multi-packs of figures, but this is a really interesting playset slash vehicle. The design choices are, bizarre to say the least. I mean, it has a sort of rudimentary Star Destroyer-like shape. You know, it's triangular. Either way you look at it, so I certainly get what they're going for. And it's got a lot of elements from the film. There's Darth Vader's meditation chamber. Here's the walkway. You can stand your bounty hunters up here and put your Imperial officers in the bottom. But I don't know what it was about this, when I saw it years ago, but it just absolutely, it was just such a great curiosity. Why did they choose? To begin with, why did they choose this as a playset to even produce? And then why choose to do it like this? I don't know, but I absolutely love it for how bizarre it is. It's going to be the centerpiece of my vintage Star Wars collection now. It's missing a few pieces. The most notable is the gun for the very front. I honestly think that's kind of a distraction, so I'm not that worried about it. If I were to find one at a reasonable price, I'd probably pick it up. There's a top to the stack above the meditation chamber, and there's some of the internal pieces. There's a little view screen thing that pops down here. I have that. I've just taken it off for the time being while I was cleaning it up a little bit. And then there's also a trap door down here. It has supports on the bottom. I've taken those off again to clean it a little bit, but they're in the next room right now. I got this for a terrific deal. There was a seller who had boxes of vintage parts, and I put most of two of these together, and he let me have both of them for $20. So this is the one I kept. It's a little bit more complete, and then I gave another slightly less complete one to my brother. He's got a pretty big vintage Star Wars collection of his own, but that's probably the best deal and the item I was most excited about from the convention. So this would be the highlight for me, honestly. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at my convention haul. I really love the show. Last year's was great. This year's was even better. It was even bigger. I have no doubt that there's going to be a Lexington Comic-Con and Toy Show 2014 and beyond. There were just thousands of people there. I think it blew away their expectations. So I can't wait to go to next year's, and hopefully I'll bring you another haul video like this one. Next year I may even try to to get some footage of the show, maybe get some interviews with some of the celebrities on hand if I'm able to pull it off. If you were at the show, I'd like it if you drop me a line, tell me what you thought about it. If you have a story about a convention you've been to other than this one, I'd love to hear that too. Just drop us a comment. We'd appreciate it. If you would please subscribe to our channel. We've got all kinds of interesting content right now. We've got some more interesting things coming down the pipeline. So it's never a dull moment at youtube.com/fanboysforever. Till next time, this is Brandon, signing out. Okay, it would be a cheat if I didn't do this, so I think I'm just going to go for it. But it's just half a piece. Okay, this isn't as crunchy as some of the other gum that I've gotten from old wax packs. Here goes nothing. If this doesn't turn out well, I would prefer to be cremated instead of buried. That's real bad. It's not the worst. This is not as unpleasant as I thought it would be, but it's pretty bad. I've not swallowed it. I'm going to spit this out as soon as I'm off camera, so I better go.